Hello, everybody online. We still have some stragglers coming in the room.
Is that a small basket up here?
Yeah, birds like to, nest in it. Alright, we got some online. There, everybody kind of filtered in now. Go ahead and swing that door shut if you would for me. Starting out today, I would just like to do a little disclaimer type thing. In terms of interpretation of our safety topics that we've been doing. Just gonna throw it out that it's not always about you, whatever topics are being presented. What I mean by that is not everything is negative, so I can see that it seems to be a lot of the mindsets that are out there is when we present these topics, everyone kind of picks apart the most negative thing they can find about whatever topic is being presented, and I can see that in all of your safety meeting responses, those of you doing it online at least. I just kind of want to give an example. So last week we did SSEs, short service employees, right? Seems pretty straightforward, not really like you could turn that into a negative topic. But I got responses like, I'm being spied on more than I thought, or shows how much we're being judged. That's not the point of the safety meeting, right? You're not gaining anything valuable from watching these with such a negative attitude. A lot of you did get the point, and I appreciate that, where I got responses like, help the newbies out. Yes, that's the point of SSE programs. Be a mentor with the less experienced. Yes, that's the purpose of presenting SSE and explaining what the purpose of those programs is. Don't do a job if I'm not comfortable or properly trained. So these are some responses, positive responses I got from these safety meetings. That's what we're looking for you guys to get out of these types of things. So again, these aren't meant to be presented so you can find the most negative thing about it, so you can be reminded of what it takes to do your job day in and day out safely and properly. Okay? Alright. So today we are talking about incident response, investigation, and reporting. Again, this is one of your daily things that you have in your job to do. We're going to start out with, who do you call first? Dispatch. That's who you call first. So, proper reporting process here. We've had a lot of incidents lately bypassing this proper procedure. Again, seems like something we should know by now, but we're going to go over it. We have to do it yearly. Good reminder anyways. So yes, dispatch is your first call. Then dispatch is going to notify the operations manager, the safety director, and the supervisor on duty. I think we're all pretty familiar with that as well. But a lot of times we have people bypassing that whole thing, calling me, calling David, for these different types of incidents that are happening. Dispatch needs to be that first call. Then your ops manager and safety director are going to determine any field involvement that we need out there. Driver and any equipment involved need to remain at the scene, wait till the supervisor gets there, assess the situation that's going on. If there's any injury, obviously, we're going to get 911 out, get an ambulance out, and get you taken off. If needed, remember all incidents are subject to post-incident drug testing. If it's DOT, it is required. The safety director is going to complete that first report of injury and all ongoing documentation to any agencies like OSHA, to insurance and workers' comp. Operations manager is going to oversee any customer communication. Initial notification is going to consist of basic incident description and preliminary details. And final report is sent to that customer after the investigation is complete. So that's got all the final details, any root causes, so we can see the next thing down here. Collaboration with ops manager, safety director. We have that complete investigation process, the findings, and that's going to be communicated to the employee and management team. So that's any corrective actions that need to be taken place after the incident occurs. Spills are pretty much the same process as well. A spill happens, you want to, do what you can to stop the product flow if it's safe for you to do so. So that's where it says mitigate the situation. You're going to stop that, make sure the spill is not continuing to spill if it's safe for you to do that. And then you're going to notify dispatch, and then we're going to follow that same process as before. Following information for spills, you have your driver's name and unit number, the location of the spill, brief description of the product discharged and whether it's on the ground or in the air, and the approximate quantity discharged as well. So remember, when we contact dispatch, that's where that initial flash report gets sent out with the, details that we have in the moment. So we know that something is going on, we need to get it investigated.
If you have a significant spill and it's under your trailer, please do not move your trailer without a supervisor's approval. We have spread many spills across the pad, making it harder to clean up. Please don't move your vehicle unless the supervisor gives you permission to.
Good. So again, we'll get that supervisor out there, assess the situation. All that information is going to be communicated to the safety director. You're going to fill out that spill report form immediately and get it cleared from the release location. If needed, again, all incidents are subject to those post-incident drug tests. And then if we need to, we're going to notify those appropriate state agencies like you can see listed here. I'm not going to list them all out for you either. And then, again, like Gilby said, we want to take pictures before and after cleanup as well. So make sure we're putting something down for size reference. A little bit of oil can look like a lot if you don't have a glove or a bucket or something down for a size reference. And then make sure we're taking them afterwards as well to make sure that the cleanup is satisfactory. Prairie Field Service's goal is to reduce injuries, save lives, and reduce the cost of a disaster if it does strike in terms of emergency response. First aid supplies need to be clearly visible, properly maintained, and clearly labeled, especially in your guys' trucks. I know we talk about this often, but make sure you do know where those are every time you go out, so if you do need them, you're not spending time searching for where they're at. Site personnel know what needs to be done and how to get it done in an emergency situation. We can thank our site personnel recently, in the last year, for knowing what to do in the few cases we've needed them when our guys have gone down on those tanks in the last year, so kudos to them. How we respond essentially can determine the extent of personal injury, public health threats, and a loss of equipment. So responding in a proper way can make it better. Responding improperly can obviously make it worse. Every reasonable effort must be made to control the hazards while the condition is being corrected as well. So while we're mitigating the situation, we're taking the proper actions to keep that. Sorry, I was trying to listen to them at the same time while it's being corrected. Prairie Field Services will make sure only properly trained personnel will handle emergency situations, and all others will have contact info for those that are trained to handle the emergency response plan. Potential emergencies. An emergency may be the result of upset processes, uncontrolled reactions, fires, explosions, threats, unplanned release of hazardous materials, and natural disaster strikes like earthquakes, floods, and winter storms. Some examples of these are injuries, fire, oil spills, and extreme weather conditions. These are common causes in our line of work. Essentially, all emergency situations have a starting action, so something that caused them. You need to recognize the hazard and sound an alarm, evaluate the hazard, take control of the situation, call any emergency contacts needed for the situation, take action and get it reported, following up with that investigation. So that's where this incident reporting process comes into all of these emergency situations. Following a notification of a hazard, the supervisor on duty is going to evaluate that hazard and the effect on staff, including the environment and the community. That supervisor will have two choices in the event of these hazards. Either initiate a routine response or cleanup procedure for non-life-threatening emergencies, or activate the emergency response plan. That's pretty much it. Questions, comments, concerns on that? None online either. All right. There we go. Shot moment. Sal, where you at? He just walked out, didn't he?
Stepped out for a second.
All right. We'll go back to that. Okay, some kudos that we have here. First one here, we have Josh Zock. He was nominated by Lacey Alexander with Devin and Alan. We recently obtained hauling the Oryx 26353 MH. The left photo is how it was when Josh arrived, and the second photo is how he left it when he left location. Lacey said, quote, "Prairie's been working alongside my team for a long time. You painted a picture to one of the reasons why." So thank you, Josh, for taking that extra step and going above and beyond for this producer. Our next one we have is Brian McLemore, nominated by Richard Wendling. Going above duty to help a fellow teammate. Brian was finishing offloading at Campbell Lack when he noticed a fellow teammate had just had a spill on another lane. Brian had a full day ahead of him and was on a very stringent schedule. Brian put his own needs aside and moved off the lane and parked in a safe spot. He then grabbed a shovel and immediately went to assist one of his fellow drivers. The other driver told Brian there was no need to stay and help clean up, as it would put him behind on schedule. This didn't detour Brian. He refused to leave until the situation was taken care of, and he knew his teammate was okay, even if it costed him a load. Brian, your actions have been noticed and held in high regards. Thank you for your continued dedication to our company and your fellow employees. Last one here, Gilby's going to hop up and give recognition for David by, well, pretty much everyone. So,
Well, Shell actually reached out and wanted to give a recognition to David for just his dedication and exhibiting his leadership within the South Texas team. We recently started hauling crude down in South Texas. David went down there, spent a month there, met with Border Patrol agencies, DOT agencies, the producer, the frac crews, everybody down in the area. So Shell wanted to recognize him for his dedication to that. They're going to send a $25 gift card to you. They certainly appreciate the support and cooperation from Jeremy as well as the entire Firebird team as well. Along with that, all three of the recognitions here are also going to receive $25 worth of Prairie points. LaDonna should be sending you an email on that. That's all I got.
Sal, you're up.
Okay. Something we've seen in the shop here a little bit more often now is steer tires. So we're going to do a quick little thing on this. Basically what it comes down to is what we're after here is what to look for and when to ask for assistance. I'm bringing this up because we've seen a lot more of that from the drivers, asking a lot more questions of us, which is great. I love that. It lets us know that there's no guesswork involved anymore. It's dependability and kind of reliability on each other, and it's nice.
Other way.
Oh, sorry. One of the biggest wears we've seen on these are one-sided, and possible cause can be misalignment issues, or the worn tire ends. And I bring that up because it's two that we replaced just today. And we did the alignments, everything was set. We had one truck that came in, it had an alignment done. And when we lifted it and moved it, we could see that the tire ends were shot. So it wouldn't matter how many times we aligned it. Again, something we're looking into more now. So, but again, it was brought to our attention by a driver that said he just looked odd, felt different. One of the things that's going to help us a lot more is how much detail you go into when you describe things to us, and especially with this because, one is it just pulling to one side, or do you really have to crank the wheel to the left to keep it on the road? Things like that. Does it do it worse when you accelerate? Specifics, because then it's going to give us more of a breakdown on what we need to look for, and it helps the process out. One of the biggest things too that helps us out a lot is whatever issue you're having an issue with, clean it. If you guys could wash it for us, man, that takes a huge amount of time off of us. So
your question on that tire, that's not a new thing. That's been an ongoing thing for a long time now. The tires were like that. Do you have any idea what is causing it?
Well, again,
I thought it was alignment.
On the ones we've looked at that we saw today, specifically, I can really say this is the issue and we can fix it. What I can say is the ones we saw today was the tire ends. And the reason I say that, that helped with it. Again, the alignment was an issue too, but generally when you see wear like that, especially on just one side and not the other, it means that just that one end was leaned. And it did, when we did lift it up, you could actually see, I know it didn't sound like a lot, but Probably, I don't know how much did that move.
Yeah. That picture there should have been one-sided of one tire.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the passenger side tire that the castle nut was loose on. And so it was just articulating back and forth. So the steering gear and the steering sector on the driver's side was controlling the vehicle very well, while the passenger side was cocking out or in, and it was scuffing out the side of that tire.
On those,
So if those nuts are like that are loose, then the more weight we get on there, the more that's going to tip.
correct.
In, and that's what's causing that.
Just like with anything else, when you push down on it, it wears out. Okay.
You also fill the steering wheel too.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
You also fill the steering wheel too.
There's a lot of, I mean, like I say, some of the guys may not been here that long. That's been an ongoing problem.
Well,
Nobody's
and
ever
those
been
are-
able to address it. So
And that's why we're trying to do this now, because again, it's not something new that we've seen. But again, the other side of it too is if you're not sure what the issue could be, that's what we're trying to help out, get out there. Because again, like I said, with you feeling it, hopefully this will narrow down a lot more. When they say the castle nut was loose, what they mean is that part slides into a tapered a tapered bore, and when it goes in, it fits solid, snug, so there's no movement. When that castle nut comes loose, it drops down and it allows movement. It allows it to pivot. Well, when it pivots, the quickest way it's going to go is out, and that's where the tire leans, and that's where you get this one-sided wear. And again, like they said before, it's only going to be on one side. 2 trucks like that one day, same exact issue.
So is there anything we can look for when we're doing the 3 trips on that castle nut? Is there anything we can look for or is that something you just got to put and check it out?
This castle nut actually did have the hammer lock pin through it, or key pin through it, and all the dirt was there. But right underneath that castle nut, you could see where the nut and the I wouldn't want to call it a pitman arm. It's a spindle, the spindle arm coming together right there, and where that nut was, the dirt was all broke away, and you could see like a little bit of rust and stuff. We call it a blood for the rust and stuff, and sit there and milled and milled and milled for a bit.
So that could be a sign then.
Oh yeah, anytime you get like a crack or 2 pieces of metal milling against each other, it's going to create like a really fine red dust there.
Or the pin starts coming off, it's like a wear indicator.
And these are more things that we're going to be looking for. I don't expect a lot of drivers to go into it that detail. What I do expect though is the tires. That's why we're pushing for that. So that would be your first indicator.
If we can see it, you know, I mean, if it's loose, we always, and it's doing that, so all right, well, let's check that. Oh, wow, that castle nut's off. We don't want to be taking it down the road. So it's just something we can look at. I mean, it's the same way with the lug nuts. I mean, we don't reach down there with a wrench and make sure they're all torqued. But there's signs you can look for.
Absolutely.
You know, streaks down, rust spots. You can look for shiny spots, and maybe, hey, whoa, there's a loose lug nut.
So the
If
biggest
there's
sign.
something we can catch from a glance that this may be a problem. So we had tires come off going down the road. I mean, if we can prevent that.
That's the goal.
That's why I was bringing it up. Kind of help let the guys know what we can look for visually to help you guys.
Right.
All right, this
And
is
if you're driving the truck, give us more information. We need detailed information because, you know, we just see what you write down. It wobbles, pulls to the right. Well, is it braking, acceleration? What's the steering wheel doing? Are you fighting the steering wheel? You kind of, instead of, it cuts down the guessing game instead of you can go right to the area initially.
But a lot of the issues that come up, we have an idea of what it could be. But again, like I said, it's like with anything when they say just drive down this road and turn right. Well, is there specifics to that? You know, is it the first right, second right? Is there a sign? Is there a dead cow? Something. You know, those are the things that we're talking about. For us, what it is did you just notice this? Did it just start? Has it been doing this? Because now we know what to look for wear-wise. So that's what helps us out. Again, for you guys, what I'm pushing for is the tire part of it. The other stuff, we'll take care of that. The biggest sign for you guys is going to see, and again, this is time management for you, is the tire wear.
So, Chad, you mentioned you've seen this a lot, so there might be some drivers that got the mindset that that's just normal wear, but like for us, we put a brand new tire on your truck, and a month down the road it looks like that, that's a telltale sign something's wrong. And as long as we report that to them, they can further
And
investigate.
that's why I was bringing this up, because that has been an ongoing
Yeah,
thing.
'cause
I mean,
it's not normal wear.
it goes way back. And in the past, we've been told tire pressure. You're not checking your tire pressure. That's normal. Well, we're not real sure. So if we finally got somebody in here that's actually looking into it, trying to figure out this problem, I've seen your tires 20,000 miles. They had to be replaced because of that shit.
Yes.
Nobody in the past, won't mention any name, would look at it. They just about, we don't know. We're not sure.
You need to rub your hand across that tire too. It'll fill
Right.
an edge to it or a cup.
There's a lot of telltale signs you'll see.
Information for us to try
And again, and the reason we're pushing this now is because we can do a lot with what we got, but you guys are the ones that see these things every day. So it's going to be quicker for you guys to pick it up by looking at something one day and then look at the exact same thing the next and exact same thing the next. Within 3 or 4 days, you're going to see a difference. You'll know more about it than we will. We get it in when there's already an issue. What we're trying to alleviate is how bad the issue is right now. And again, it's coming down to, like I said, the tires. We're pushing for this. We're trying to really get this thing set, but we need help from everybody. So if we're on the same team doing this the same way, it'll work. I think it'll work. I don't know. How they start? I mean, this is textbook, brand new tire. And as long as, we keep up on maintenance and keep up on the observations, they can stay like this. All we're looking for is just the depth to drop down. That's all we're after. That's the goal for anybody. When it's not taken care of, again, sorry for the graphic stuff, but I got to be realistic with this. So, this is inevitable. Yeah, no, not really. What I'm getting at is if things aren't taken care of and looked at, things blow. That's how it works. This is a whole tire, the whole thing ripped off the top of it. Again, like I said, seen it 100 times. It's very sad.
So that one needs to be replaced then, right?
We can fix this. I know people. I got some great set of plumbing tools. We can fix it. No, again, this is a whole different style tire. What I was trying to get at, the point was when things get left aside like they were in the past and pushed aside and accepted like it was okay, when you don't pay attention to stuff, this is what comes back sometimes. This one came back last night. So what we're getting at is when you pay attention and focus on the minimal things, the minor stuff, and pass that forward, we can make sure it never gets to this. That's the goal anyways. So.
And not only when that tire goes, there's other damage it creates too.
A lot of it.
Fenders, brake hands, brake lines,
Airbags.
Well, and again, this was a rear one. I've never seen a front one go like that. God help I never do. I mean, and I say that because, what's that?
That was a steer tire?
No, this was a trailer. No, I've never seen a steer do that, and like I said, I hope none of us ever do.
Generally, that's a recap. It does that. We run recaps on it.
Correct.
We got bad issues. So.
Yeah, then we're like Poe, not even poor, but we can't afford the other O in the R. That's like Poe folk.
right too.
So, but that's what we're trying to get at. And again, we haven't seen a whole lot of horrific things with steer tires. We'll hope we never do. That's why we're trying to get this started now. These enough that we saw with the wear is enough for us to say we need to bring this forward to the limelight so we're all on the same page with this. Again, I'm trying to push for everybody to be on the same page. If you guys see things or we see things, we're gonna connect it so we can confront it and move forward.
Hey, let me ask you one more quick.
Shoot.
I don't want to drag this on too far, but some of these tires, these recap put on the construction trailers, once they get down board so far, you start seeing the seam of the cap where it comes together and all the way across the tire. Some of that doesn't look real good to some of us drivers. What is the safe? I mean, if we start seeing that seam and it becomes readily available, or obviously,
You're talking on when it wraps around where they come together.
yes,
If you can start to see the seam really clear, yeah, you need to mark it. Let us know. There's so many variables and so many risks with the recap. It's so not worth it. So not worth it. We had some come from a different place, and we altogether had 40 some tires, and 18 of them were reusable because the rest had been worn down that far.
I got some on my truck right now.
It's again,
All right. try to.
You know, I always tell guys, would you put that on your vehicle?
No.
You're the one driving it, not me. So,
No, there's a lot of things I would do in my vehicle. We do these.
well, that's what I'm saying. Because again, I hear a lot of my truck. Well, you know what? For these few hours, it is. It is your truck for these few hours. So again, take care of it. Because when you leave, it's going to be someone else's.
A few hours.
Well, yeah, a couple hours. Don't you guys run 5-hour shifts? I'm kidding. Anyways, for that long time you're going to have it. That's what I'm saying. And again, when you're done with it, someone else is going to have it for that long too. So, again, we're all here on the same. We're all the same. We all wear the same stuff, patch-wise. So we need to be on the same page.
So that one has a Trevor top of it.
What's that?
Is that one has a Trevor top of it, or is that just like a blue capsule?
Cap came off. Yeah. Well, it blew and then it wrapped up on the fender, and fender just hung on to it, and it just kept going. So now the bad thing is with this one, it pulled the back of the fender, the mount, into the other tire. So as soon as he noticed smoke, he hit the brake, pulled over, and by the time he stopped, both tires are flat. And he sat for about 7 hours. So. But anyways, that's what we got with that. So thank you. Oh, wait, quick, one other thing. Sorry about that. And this, as far as intake, again, first off, this is from, well, the DVR entries are more descriptive than ever. The mechanics would like to thank everybody for taking the time to add details. And again, she's right. A lot of the stuff that came in was a lot more focused on it. That's why we brought it up, because again, it helps us do our job a little easier. As far as intake, calling intake is only for equipment failures. Please do not call to check and see if your truck is up. And it's only there for things in the yard, not issues that occur in the yard and the field that require immediate attention. That's what intake's for. Marking DVRs unsafe, issues that cause the equipment to be inoperable or a safety issue must be marked unsafe and parked in the downline. Again, one of the biggest things that for the downline is when you drop the trailer. If the trailer's good, drop it on the good line, because we can run another truck to it. Again, in the past, that was a huge thing that no one liked to do. However, when the reality comes to it, it's a truck and a trailer. They all work the same. They all hook up the
That's
same.
what we're told not to. That's
Correct.
what's having a big issue.
So,
Well, and that's the whole big thing with the past. There was issues that came up. There were things that were confronted, and what we found so far is learning from it. A lot of that stuff didn't work. Good ideas, I'm sure, at the time, but reality-wise,
The thing we tried to explain before, that we're looking at untriggered trailers, it's that driver responsibility, because it's his ass that trailer's hooked from. So that was always anyplace I've ever worked.
Mhm.
And if you want your trailer fixed, you don't hook it. We're not doing it. That lays responsibility someplace where it does not go. So, but
I want to throw this out here because I've had a lot of questions on, why the drivers have to drop and hook now and why the mechanics can't still do it. 5 months ago, we reduced our shop staff in half. Went from 26 mechanics down to 14. So that means we got less mechanics to work down on this broke down equipment. It's by no means the fault of the current shop manager. It's not their fault that we're not open at night. We just had less staff and we just couldn't be open at night. We're working on trying to add more staff to be able to have more, at least, 4 days a week of night staff support. But one of the big reasons, and I kind of push this to ask the drivers to do the dropping and hooking, the month of April, we logged over 100 hours through the mechanics. One whole month, 100 hours of just moving equipment around, dropping and hooking. And I figured it would take a driver 20 minutes. But I got 100 hours of mechanics doing that in 1 month. That's 100 hours that they could have been working on your guys' trucks and getting them up faster. And it's already made a difference for the speed that we can get things in and work on them.
main reason behind that is because I'm a crappy driver. Just throwing that out there. I don't back up trucks. I'm not a CDL guy. You guys are phenomenal to watch what you do with those things.
And also, when you separate the equipment, you notice more things that can cause or create an issue. And plus, the pit bulls are getting grease now. I've seen separated in there, this metal on metal. I mean,
You get a lot of it.
Well, and like I said, again, from the past, I'm sure there was issues like that. We're trying to alleviate that.
yeah,
Again, it gets
2
better
weeks
with
ago, we uncoupled
teamwork,
that
so.
434, and the pin was missing. We would have never noticed that if we hadn't dropped the damn trailer.
And like Chad mentioned, you know, it's your responsibility. Just please, whenever you hook up to a trailer, tug test it. It's one of my fears that one day I'm going to drive here in the morning and see one of our trailers laid across Salt Creek Highway. Because you can drive all around this yard and with that not hooked tight. As soon as you mash on the accelerator and go out there, that's when it's going to slide off. So always tug test after you hook up the trailer.
Let me re-advise that, because this is something that happened to me years ago.
Is that real?
I had a safety deal. In Boise, Idaho, I was over the road flatbed. I loaded in Boise, Idaho. I didn't have to leave till early Sunday morning. I loaded on a Friday afternoon. Our yard was in Boise. Took the truck back there. It was a no-tart deal. Took the truck back to the yard park for the weekend, so I get ready to leave. I backed the truck in next to an old lumber tart that was laying on the ground. Okay? That's what I did. When I get there that early Sunday morning, daybreak, kick my tires, do my shit, jump in the truck, and I take off. I pull out through the yard, I pull around the corner onto the road, trailer comes off of my fifth wheel. Frame caught it, so I didn't tip over, but damn near caused a big mess. What happened was, the mechanic, the only one we had, came in there, unhooked my truck, took it in the shop, serviced it, hooked it back up. Well, at that time, we used them big donuts to go on there, greaseless bed plates. So he high pinned it when he hooked it. He didn't get it latched. Because I backed it in, when I came Sunday morning, it was the exact spot. I didn't tug test it. I just took off. That simple tug test can save a lot of headache.
Well, first thing you do is when you couple the truck, look at the pin.
Well, it was all hooked. It all looked like it was hooked.
And you walk around, look at the jaws.
It looked like the whole deal was all together. But that's the deal. That tug test can save a lot of headache.
Mhm.
Whether you needs to be done regardless.
And it's an own way to check the brakes on the trailer.
Absolutely.
It's part of your sense.
Well, it's a win-win situation regardless. Time-wise, it's nothing. Safety-wise, it's everything. And it's something for us too. Because it threw me off the first day I came here, and I watched these guys do it. They back up and then pulled. I'm like, "What the hell are you doing? You got to release the brakes, stupid. What are you thinking?" They're like, "We're not moving it." What'd you do that for? To tug test it. You muscle testing this thing, or what the hell are you doing? Well, I didn't know. Now it's all clear. Now it makes so much sense. So, again, like I said, win-win situation. Next, unsafe quick repairs such as tires, air leaks, and tire repairs need to be lined up behind the wash bay. Consider others. We would not mark your equipment unsafe and put the truck on the line for clutch issues. Check engine lights or D-rates since it's not a quick repair. Again, I know it sounds weird, but it's been done. Twice now that we've known it was an issue that wasn't a quick thing, but I just parked there so you guys can take care of it. That's where communication comes in. Again, there's a lot of things we can take care of. Time management is the biggest thing. When things come in, I try to look at what it is, line the mechanics up that have the ability to do these things so we can keep things rolling. Now, I'm all up for learning. I really am. I love these days, pick up something new. But time is of the essence. If there's time for it, then we'll learn. If there's not, I got to go with what's there. And if it's going to take that long, it's going to be down for a few days until I can move it aside, get the right person on it, and get them going on it. So, again, it's quality. We can fix anything fast. It's about fixing it right. So that's why we're focused on this part of it. Be proactive. And this, honestly, when I heard this, I thought this was completely asinine. But so far, this has worked very, very well for us. Again, I had to just follow my pride for this one, so pay attention. You can call and schedule an appointment for all needed equipment repairs, safe DVRs, entries. This would include things that would not down the truck. So you can call 307-315-3187 to schedule an appointment anytime Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, I thought, what a weird thing to do. Why are they scheduling? We have mechanics. If it's ready, just bring it in. We'll fix it. Well, that was great when we had time. Whereas now, with things picking up a little bit, it's detrimental that we set things up so when it comes in, we can take care of that part, get a guy on everything, get a good look at everything, mark down new things that we found, send it out, and just keep that stuff documented. So when it comes in again, we can jump on those things. The biggest issue we had before was we get something in, look at it, find more stuff, keep looking at it, find more stuff, keep looking at it, and finding all these things. And that's great, but now that truck's been down for a month. Because we still need parts for it, so just hang on to it, fix something else, and maybe parts will come in. Well, 1 or 2 days, parts never came in. That truck occupied space and took time. That's what we're trying to get rid of now, so that we can keep going here. Because the last thing we need is mechanics wandering on, what do I do next? Because we don't have space. I'm waiting on parts. We don't have time. I hate hearing that. And they do too. We want to come here and be focused just like everyone else. Put our head, our nose to the grind and keep things rolling. It makes our day go fast. When we're waiting on stuff and walking around with nothing to do and space occupied, it stinks for everybody. So that's why the schedule thing worked out well, because now when it comes in, I can say, yeah, here's your thing. Good luck. Because the DVAR is about a sheet and a half long. But it's got to be done before it leaves. Whether it's today or tomorrow, it doesn't matter. But now, someone can be focused on what they're doing for the next day or two. And then when they get done with that one, I can go, here, here's another one. Sorry, bud, here's 3 more.
Also, the scheduling gives us the option to pre-order parts that we know that we're going to need for those.
Yeah, we did a couple like that where we had other people look at them and then order a whole package. So when it comes in, the package is here, we can just pull the truck in and say, here's what they did, here's what they inspected, here's the package. Have at her. So, and again, when that's done, it's the mechanic that doesn't have to worry about, is stuff going to be here? When can I order? Do we even bother mess with this because I don't know if I have it? All the parts are there. Everything's there. All you got to do is take this stuff off, put this one on. Yeah, well, we're still working on that, bud. Next to my Lotto Ticket. So when that happens, maybe we'll be all happy. But until then, sorry. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Sal.
Thank you.
Okay, just a couple more things. Oh man, I forgot we have to go over that one too. Huh? Okay. I'm gonna do mine real quick. Just a quick question. What do you guys usually wear under your FRs? Okay. I mean, that's good if you wear nothing.
Underwear?
What type of clothing do you wear?
100% cat.
Yes, I was actually asking what you specifically actually do wear. You want to wear cotton underneath your FRs. WPX in Texas had an explosion last week or the week before. One of those two. And a guy was wearing a polyester Under Armour shirt underneath his FRs. His FRs did their job and, flash fired out, but his polyester melted to his body. So make sure you're wearing cotton underneath of your clothes. Your FRs will still do their job, and the cotton will do the job after that as well. But not wearing something that will melt in the flash fire. Make sure you're not wearing those. Second, calibrating your four-gas monitors. I probably had 10 in 10 days, at least 10, come in to me in 10 days that they weren't working. Those calibrations need to be put in those calibrating stations down in the driver's room once a week. That's pretty much going to fix any problem you ever have with those monitors. So I have someone come in and say, this isn't working. The battery's dying in 3 hours. It won't charge. The alarms are constantly going off. Pop it in that calibrator and it's fixed. Okay, it's a simple fix like that. They need to be done once a week. Number one, again, it makes sure that those sensors on those monitors are going to be working if they do come into contact with those vapors and gases. So like Chris said, he brought it in a week ago. It worked 1 week. Came in the next week, it didn't work. So if you're not calibrating it for 4 weeks at a time, anytime within those 4 weeks it could have stopped working, you wouldn't know because you're not putting it on the calibrator. Second thing it does when you put it on those calibrators is it takes all that information that it has stored during your workday and it takes it off of your monitor and puts it onto that database in that calibrator. So that has a fail-safe built into it that if you're not doing that, it's going to drain that battery in 3 hours every time. Last thing, it also updates any software on those monitors when you put it in that machine. So there's multiple reasons you guys need to be doing this every week, so please take care of your equipment. You're responsible for it, and put it in those calibrators and take care of it. Last thing. I don't think I said the safety focus word earlier. Dispatch is your first call. Safety focus phrase. Dispatch is first call. You're up, Jason.
All right.
Go back.
Okay. Something that's been coming up a lot. We've had quite a few incidences this year already with the gate strikes, cattle guards. Guys, be aware of your surroundings and the area that you're in. If it's too tight to get in, back up, assess it, pay attention to what you're doing. A lot of guys have been wiping these out with their trailers. The one up in the upper left-hand corner, that one's going into a Samson lease, and the dual tracks go right clear off the edge of the cattle guard out into the grass. And there's plenty of room on that one, and there's no reason for that to be happening. So pay attention to your surroundings. We want to avoid this. These cattle guards are expensive. It costs a lot of money for us to send somebody out and go fix them.
One thing to keep in mind, especially with your tracking of your trailer, if you're used to a 3-axle trailer or one of these 4-axles that's got a rear tag, and now you've got to take a different piece of equipment today and you got a 4-axle that's got a front tag, you're going to need a lot more room to swing. They track a lot different. And I think that might be why some of this stuff's happening, is because you're used to the swing on your 3-axle, and when you got that longer trailer, just you need more room.
Yep, and also following your journey management plan, because some routes that these have been hit on, like the one in the upper right-hand corner, that's about the third time this year that one's been wiped out, and that's going into Sand Springs.
I'm gonna guess even anytime soon.
What's that?
Snow on the ground.
Yeah, but I don't have the recent one. I deleted a lot of pictures off my phone. But yeah, there's been several instances with that one, and it's $1,200 a pop just to get the cattle guard fixed, not counting the damage to the trailer. And we had one just the other day. It was a front end strike on a cattle guard.
Front end?
Mm-hmm. Hit the front end of the truck. I mean, it was completely avoidable.
Do I even want to know how?
I don't even know how either. I just seen it come across.
So what cattle guard is that going into Sam Springs?
That's the one when you come in the south way, and then you take that really hard left.
Off the hill.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh,
That one, going into that one's not bad, but coming out is a real pain in the ass.
Every time it's been demolished, it's been from a truck coming out of
But aren't we supposed to be going out the other way anyway? No,
Yes.
I'm making
We've
Not
changed the routing on that, so you're
Oh,
supposed to be
routed that.
using the north.
And it is a pain in the ass. Well, I don't know if this will help some of the guys, but I stopped at the bottom of the hill as wide as I can get to the outside of that, and I lock everything in that truck. And I take it really wide.
Yeah.
Still only misses it by a foot.
that.
So, I don't know what we can do about that. They need to do something with that hill. I know that's a pollution thing, and probably never happened.
I wish they would at least make a bigger circle there than what they
Something
have.
to go out the other way because that was so much easier.
Yeah, but in the wintertime and when it's muddy, you don't dare go out the other way because you just end up in the ditch.
Yeah.
So we're kind of at a loss on this one.
It's almost one of the things that needs to be a double bottom only just because of that one turn.
Yeah. But in dry weather,
Somebody's in my house, no worries.
the dry weather, that's one to address. And also watch these bollards and stuff on these locations. This one's out at the Shawnee. Somebody was backing up because they didn't want to put an extra hose on there. Ended up ripping all the piping and stuff out from under the trailer, and it cracked the ball in there where that valve sits. It's on the bottom right hand. See if I can use the mouse.
No, you can't.
Can't see the mouse up there. Oh, I was hoping you could.
Bottom right.
It's the bottom right one. That one caused a lot of damage. That trailer was down for, I think, 4 months to get it fixed.
It's like a double bar.
It was. But he was backing up. He didn't get out and look to see how close he was. And he was just guessing on what he was doing. And
That's why you don't guess in the job.
exactly. And luckily for him, he didn't bust off the ESD that's on the other side of it, on that post when he hit it. Just barely missed it.
So the big thing with these guys, again, this was brought to our attention not by PFS. Shell actually brought this to us. They're aware of these kinds of things that happen. They got a report from us saying, hey, you guys have these moving vehicle incidents. 68% of them are due to gate strikes. We need to address this and get this fixed.
Yeah, but watch your tracking, watch your area. If you're ever curious if it's going to clear or not, stop the truck, get out and look. That's the best thing, especially in the dark.
And not just at one angle, you gotta go to the front and back.
Exactly.
All around it.
Yep. And it's happened a lot. And I mean, you look at half the culverts out in the oil field on the lease roads, they're flat, and you see a set of duals running right down through the ditch, right over the top of it. So it's people not turning the right way and giving themselves clearance to clear those roads.
And if you work nice, turn on your work lights. Nobody's gonna yell at you.
Right. Use them. If you got them, use them.
Okay, guys, that is everything. Anybody have anything else to add? Wonderful. Oh, there we go. All right, thanks, guys.